Do we really have free speech? Think about it. Think about how many topics have been attempted to be censored, oftentimes successfully, or shamed out of society in just the last decade. And also consider, and I think this is the more important part, the timing of the censorship. I mean, the list has gotten so long. Debates on how effective the COVID vaccine is, does Donald Trump have any good ideas, conversations around transgender related issues, is being obese beautiful and or healthy, should America have a border wall, how much immigration is too much, is it better to be colorblind or see race everywhere, are there downfalls to modern feminism, are there downfalls to sexual liberation in society, for how long should we continue to send Ukraine armaments, is climate change an emergency? I'm sure I'm even missing a bunch, but this list continues to grow as more and more subjects become too extreme for the supposedly fragile minds of the public to handle, and therefore censorship and cancel culture must insert themselves. And yes, sure, you can basically talk about whatever you want to one person at a bar, but so much of what shapes public policy, culture, and society today is done via conversations online. Saying the quote-unquote wrong thing can lead to an outright ban or the inconspicuous shadow ban as your views get suppressed, often without you even knowing it. And when discussing one of these topics society considers controversial, why have many collectively decided people need to be perfect? Can we not have honest gaps in our knowledge or understanding? Some politically incorrect slip-up or honest error should not result in automatic condemnation. And what's even worse, in my opinion, than the growing list of subjects itself is the timing of the censorship. Think about it. When you actually need the free speech most, that is when it is most likely to be taken away from you. As the COVID pandemic was in its initial stages, you're basically ostracized from society for questioning anything Dr. Fauci or medical organizations around the world were saying.
It's very dangerous, Chuck, because a lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
And this is when free speech was most important for that issue, as people were trying to gather information to make medical decisions. Sure, now in 2024, the societal stigma and censorship surrounding COVID has mostly gone away, but you don't really need the free speech anymore. Lockdowns, mask mandates, and vaccine passports, for the most part, are gone, at least to my knowledge, so this subject does not really need to be debated anymore, at least not urgently. When you really needed the free speech to talk about these issues openly was in 2020, 2021, and 2022. And this timed censorship applies to many other issues as well. When Trump was running for president the first time, for the 2016 election, he famously said he was going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. The wall was widely condemned as incredibly racist. The idea of America building a border wall with Mexico was absolutely out of the question, and the media was quick to call this out as racism.
It's all about keeping non-white people from crossing the border. The fears are all race-based.
This is about a wall that is to keep people like me and my students and their families out. It is a wall that is racist.
But this is when the free speech to openly discuss that issue was most important, and who, apart from maybe a professional conservative commentator whose livelihood would not be threatened if someone at CNN called them racist, would want to be called a racist for talking about this, especially back in 2016 when that was still a pretty serious charge. If you were some person working a 9 to 5 in an American border town and were in favor of Trump's idea to build a wall, are you really going to risk being widely condemned as a racist to speak your mind online? And again, this is when you needed to have the free speech to have this debate. Now, in 2024, this conversation is more palatable to society. There has been a significant increase in illegal border crossings into the US, and even many Democratic politicians are calling for a secure border. So, just as with the COVID example, now there is more free speech surrounding this issue, but it's not as necessary as it was back in 2016. Perhaps America would not have this illegal immigration problem, at least to the degree they have, if people were just allowed to have the debate back in 2016 without fear of widely being called racist and potentially facing the real-world consequences like potential job loss that go with that accusation. So there are two examples of how the timing of free speech matters greatly. And if you think about other issues on this list I said at the beginning, it's generally true as well. When free speech on any of those issues matters most, that is when it is most likely to be taken away. And we cannot keep doing this when issues arise where there is a disagreement. People's lives are being severely negatively impacted by shutting down free speech on one side of an issue for years and then only allowing it to come back years later when it's more popular, because in many cases, the damage from censorship has already been done. Here's an example of this happening as it relates to modern feminism.
I feel lied to by the culture. 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. The woman is the future? No, the family is the future.
Now, people over the last couple decades questioning if modern feminism was really beneficial for all women were not deemed as misogynistic or supporting the patriarchy. Perhaps this woman would have been exposed to more of their worldview and ideas, and perhaps this woman would be happier right now. So, on all of these issues, how about we just let the debate happen in the moment organically, instead of trying to shut one side up with cancellation, shadow bans, and shaming tactics. With that said, thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and have a great day.